Hi, I'm Underbelly, and you suck at drums. But why? You've already downloaded 10,000 copies of the same snare drum off of Splice. What more could you possibly need, you dingus? Well, when making sick drum beats, it really helps to have a solid understanding of rhythm. I'm talking beats, bars, and time signatures. You'd be surprised how many producers skim over this knowledge, and it really hinders the kinds of music they can make in the long run. That's why in today's lesson, we're going to learn the fundamentals of rhythm. And who knows, maybe after this, you can make the second dubstep song in 7/4 and become the next Skrillex. Let's get started.
Okay, so check it. Let's start with this weird fractions looking thing that no one pays attention to. This is called the time signature, and it shows us how rhythm is organized in a piece of music. To hear it, let's turn on the metronome and press play. Oh, wowzers, that's the best beat I ever heard. By the way, a beat is a regular pulse in time measuring the passage of time in a piece of music. Sort of like how a second, tick, 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 measures the passage of time on a clock. Now, you might notice that when the metronome plays the beats, it doesn't play them all at the same pitch. It goes sort of like high, low, 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 or something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it seems to be grouping the beats in 4. And the first beat of a group, the high pitch, is called a downbeat. A grouping or collection of beats is called a bar or measure. They mean the exact same thing. But Underbelly, what's the point of having bars anyway? All they are sad and dark places that Uncle Joe usually ends up after rehab. Well, I'll tell you, a bar in music is a container for a musical idea. So it's space for an idea like a bass line, chord progression, or melody to live in. Now, say instead of grouping the beats in groups of 4, we wanted to say group them into 5. So let's change that first number of the time signature to a 5 and listen to what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like our bars here are now 5 beats long. And we can see here that the first number of the time signature controls the number of beats per bar. Wowzers. And we can have this all the way up to 99 beats for whatever reason. I don't care. All right, so we identify what the first number in the time signature means, but what about the second number? Well, you see when I drag up or down on it, options are much more limited. We got 1, 2, 4, 8, or 16. What gives here? Well, let's try it. So I'll change that second number from a 4 to an 8 and we'll see what happens. Oh, Jesus, we're beating it hard and fast now. Well, why is that? Well, I'll tell you. What the second number controls in the time signature is the kind of note that receives a beat, whether it's a quarter note, eighth note, 16th note, etc. So to explain this, I'll change the time signature back to 4/4, and let's create a new empty MIDI track and create a new empty clip on it just by double clicking. Now you'll notice that when I draw in a new note, by default, it's a 16th note long, and you can double check this by looking at the number over on the bottom right corner of the screen. Now say instead of drawing in a 16th note, I wanted to do a quarter note. So check it out. I'll right click here and change the fixed grid to quarters. And if I draw in a note again, just by double clicking, wowzers, it's a quarter note long. And check it out, 4 quarter notes equals 1 bar. Oh, Jesus. Now, say instead of drawing quarter notes, I wanted to do eighth notes. So again, I'll right click, change the grid to eighth notes here. And look at that. If I draw in 2 eighth notes, you can see that 2 eighth notes fit into the space of 1 quarter note. So that's why when we switch the second number of the metronome from a 4 to an 8, the speed doubles because you can fit 2 eighth notes in the space of 1 quarter note. Wowzers. Okay, so just to review, the first number in the time signature controls the number of beats per bar, and the second number controls the kind of note that receives a beat, whether it's a quarter note, eighth note, 16th note, whatever. Now, let's take a listen to a few tracks and see if we can figure out their time signatures just by listening. Okay, so here I have 2 tracks. Let's start with this sexy samba track and see if we can figure out the time signature. Okay, so getting distracted here. Let's see if we can figure out the time signature. And to do that, we always want to start with the first number first. That's the number of beats per bar. Remember, a bar is a container for a musical idea. So all we have to do here is identify what the main idea here is and how long it takes before it repeats. Here's what we're going to try and do here. I'm going to play it and pause it right before I feel like that main idea is about to repeat. So let's try it. Oh, too late. God damn it. One time. Too early. Sally was always complaining to me about this. All right, one more time. Let's try it again. Bam. Okay, so that's the length of the idea here. So let's see, how many beats are fitting into that space? Well, let's see if we can count along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like the first number in the time signature here is actually 5. So let's change the time signature here to 5, and we'll do the same for this clip here. And let's turn on the metronome and see if it makes sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, wowzer. So looks like we're in 5/4 here. Now, as far as the second number, the kind of note that receives a beat, the way we figure this out is by paying attention to how we're nodding our heads. If we want to nod our head to every single beat, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then chances are it's a quarter note receiving a beat. If we do not want to nod our head to every single beat, if we want to go more like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, then chances are it's an eighth note receiving a beat. Since we want to nod every beat, second number is a 4. Okay, so that's good for sexy samba. Now let's see if we can figure out diddly diddly. All right, stop, think about it, come up with the time signature yourself, and now let's analyze it together. What we want to identify is the main musical idea. So let's play it and pause it right before we feel like it's going to repeat. So it seems like that main idea is the guitar riff. It seems like it's the same guitar riff over just 2 different chords, as in 1, 2, then same thing. So when we're trying to figure out the time signature here, we want to find the smallest repeatable increment of the musical idea. So even though the whole riff spans 2 chords, we really only want to count half that because the same musical idea is used for the second chord anyway. So let's see if we can identify, okay, how many beats are fitting into that space of the musical idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so looks like there are 6 beats here in the musical idea. So let's hear it with the metronome. Huh. Feels like the metronome is off somehow. Well, hold up. So let's figure out the second number. Remember, the second number is the kind of note that receives 1 beat here. So if we want to nod our head every single beat, the second number is probably a 4. If we do not want to nod every beat, it's probably an 8. So let's take a listen again and just observe, how are we wanting to nod our heads? Are we wanting to do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or are we wanting to go more like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it seems like the emphasis is not on every beat. It seems like it's on the 1 and the 4. So if you do not want to nod your head every single beat here, chances are the second number is an 8. An eighth note is receiving a beat. And so let's verify. Let's turn on the metronome, take a listen. Skip it, don't, boom, don't, don't, yeah.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to practice more, I've included a playlist of songs and weird time signatures in the video description. See if you can analyze them in the same way we did today. And if you'd really like to make Uncle Joe proud, try creating a couple weird time signature beats of your own. Wowzers! By the way, this is the first video of my new course on how to suck less at drums. So if you'd like to continue sucking less, come back every Thursday for the next several weeks for a new video in the course. I'm Underbelly. Have a great day.